Yeah.
Metaphysical.
He's very metaphysical, yeah.
Also elements of Mexican heritage. You see a lot of the masks in his work.
Jesus' style is he's very celebrated in Mexico. It took almost 2 weeks to paint this because he paints it almost like a watercolor painting. He does a wash, so he does wash over wash.
A mural on your building is to give life, and you see throughout Southwest Detroit there's people using graffiti style lettering quite extensively to promote their businesses.
People just realize that street art and urban art and graffiti art are all relative forms of art. It's been fighting for validity since its beginning, since the 70s.
So you kind of look at it like we're going through an outdoor museum.
Do you know what this is? Steve Faust. And this, I think, was done in the 70s. Back up a couple feet, see a much more contemporary mural done by the Weird European artist group. And I feel like they're equally important.
Nowadays, you can just drive around and just make a day of it. Maybe find some wall you've never seen online, and it's like Christmas time or something.
There's so many good pieces. Some of my favorites, Vito Valdez's piece. I like that piece a lot because before people were painting it and calling it street art or anything like that, Vito was out doing his thing. He's a Detroit native and inspiring to me because all you had to do was look at the work and see the passion and see the culture and digest it. Big fan of Kobe Solomon's Chimera piece on the Russell Industrial. I think that the Russell Industrial was probably one of the most ambitious pieces done with aerosol by a Detroit native. I don't think that every piece in Detroit has to be a Detroit piece for you to check it out and appreciate it. I think that the people that are coming into town and gifting us with these pieces of art are just as important. We have the Meg's piece.
This bottom piece was here first, and it was like a bunch of local guys, and then Meg's used the color palette to inspire his mural.
It just seemed to me no one wanted to be the guinea pig at first, but once the wall started happening, it was just a snowball effect. And it was like, I love that, I want that on my building. One of my personal favorites is the Jukebox Cowboys wall. That one for me just always stuck out because it was kind of when all the murals started going up, and it was just super unique. The majority of the stuff at the Z-Lot, Z-Garage with Library Street, How Nazums.
The Eastern Market stuff where the Weird came in and they did stuff. I love that. The stuff from Nichos. If you go to Lincoln Street Art Park, Teed and Deco and Mall.
I really love his abstraction of things, his looseness, like a beautiful eeriness about it.
I also like what Ariz does. Basically, until that wall, I've always seen his stuff on the internet for years. And I've just always been amazed, at like doing all that with brush and that scale and just the color palette he chooses every time.
These pieces were done a couple years ago and nothing has happened to them. No tags have gone over. Like these are tags, that's a piece of graffiti. I think there's a huge difference in the way people classify and just lump everything into this bullshit. It's always kind of ugly to start with, you know what I mean? Until someone evolves and refines their style and becomes an artist. This is Glenn Barr, a local, very well-known, amazing painter and artist. Not just, these vandal kids coming in from the suburbs, and there's some important artists still doing things in the public spaces here, A street artist and a graffiti writer are two different things, and understanding and knowing and using the terminology properly is important. Graffiti is much more, it's all ego-driven. It's about putting your name up and other graffiti writers recognizing your name. While that's graffiti, given permission and time and some resources, something beautiful can happen. Like it or not, this is a study in typography and graphic design and calligraphy, It's interesting.
If you apply your art in the public domain, your message can transcend deeper than if you apply it into gallery walls. And boom.
That's like one of my favorites. So it's not like they're just coming out and painting like what's important to them. They actually spent time in the neighborhood, talked to people, and really wanted to celebrate their culture.
And if you're looking for straight up graffiti stuff, the Legends Wall is a great place to take a look. I mean, I think that one of the most ambitious pieces on that wall is a piece from Kosick. He's a representative of the X-Men. The work is completely elaborate.
there's a reason a lot of people choose to do this, because they don't have an outlet. They don't have art classes. They don't have someone saying, hey, you can be an artist, you can be a poet, you can be a musician, you can be a writer, you can be a dancer or a painter. There's no other option. They have to do this. So what do you do? You punish them for trying to find an outlet for their creativity? I don't think that's the right answer. The graffiti is the result of another greater problem. So if we're focusing on the graffiti and that being the blight, we're doing ourselves a disservice. Why is this abandoned? Why has it been sitting dormant for a decade? What a different way to look at Detroit. This is something different that's actually beautiful and I feel transformative. Art tours happen here, public art tours, and it's not, you're not going to look at a Jeff Koons sculpture or a Botero. You're looking at people that no one knows. Like, who knows Patch Whiskey? It's colorful and vibrant and fun and engaging. I mean, how can you go wrong?
There's something in Detroit that's happening, and you can feel it rumbling underneath the surface of the ground. It's electrifying, and that's what's bringing everybody here. We need to nurture that.